episode 10 of the Love Life podcast.
You're all very welcome. I'm Anna.
I am Patrick McGlaughlin. We're here in Fit 100 HQ again. This is episode 10. We're sorry that was a little bit late, but we couldn't help the fact that our producer went flying off a bike and cracked his collarbone. These things happen.
Yeah. So this week we speak a lot about mental health. Patrick tells his story from start to finish, and it is, it's really, I don't know, it's just like eye-opening, and it's really, I think it's going to help a lot of people out there, so I hope you enjoy listening. And then we
talk about news.
We also talk about nudes, so we go from quite deep to quite light. That's the way we like to do it here in Love Life. We also talk about, I have a tip of the week, we talk about closure, how to break up with someone when you're seeing someone.
Yeah, that's about it really. Yeah, and we go along. Unfortunately, we don't cover the role play this week because we went too long on all the other stuff.
But next week we're going to cover that again.
We're going to come back with a vengeance.
I really think you're going to enjoy this episode. Have a listen, rate and review, let us know what you think, and send us now a DM with your opinion. Yeah,
slide into our DMs.
Mwah! Enjoy!
Have fun, bye-bye. Hello Anna, how are you this week?
I'm very well, Patrick. We're a little bit slow with our podcast this week because
we missed a week, I think, not through any fault of our own. Our poor dear producer Billy decided on his birthday to go mountain biking
and
extreme sports or whatever, and you probably all saw the video on my Instagram. He went flying off his bike and cracked his collarbone,
but that's way more important than anything else. So
that's why we didn't get episode 10 out on the usual normal schedule. But
hope you missed us.
But he's okay. He's just after stepping out of the room there. He's in a sling, but he'll live. So get well soon, Billy. That is the main thing,
So how was your week? Up to much, Patrick? Very busy with work, I hear.
Terribly busy, to be honest with you. Yeah. All go at the moment.
Yeah. Anything exciting for Halloween? Did you dress up, or did you go anywhere or do anything, or did you
I did the dog in it.
Oh, lovely. I think so did half the country.
I didn't dress up. Couldn't get enough of a number, like we'll say. I would have. I'm obviously a sheep. Like, I wouldn't go out on being the only one of my group of friends in a Halloween costume because I'd feel like a muppet. But
it wasn't as big this year. It used to be bigger.
The way it fell.
Maybe you're right.
In Limerick, anyway, I think. Like, it's the week. Like, the students all went mad. I was driving through town on Wednesday evening. Was it Wednesday?
Yeah.
And the students were all out in force and stuff like that. But let's say the bank holiday weekend being before that, like, I didn't see too many people where I was dressed up.
Yeah,
like that.
I think because it's a Wednesday night, it was just different. It fell on the weekend. I was down in Killarney now, and there was no one dressed up. Maybe 3 people in the whole pub and nightclub.
And then it was not like the bank holiday was the Cork Jazz, and I know a lot of people from Limerick went down to Cork and stuff like that. And, like, you're not going to Cork Jazz dressed up as a zombie.
Exactly. When my mother throws a Halloween party every year, so she had a Halloween party, so we did the dog on Wednesday night, and we all dressed up, and it was good crack.
Good.
It's nice to.
We have a party for anything.
A priest.
A priest.
Yeah. I just last minute. Dad gave me a black shirt, and I got a bit of cardboard and put a bit of blood in my face. So
zombie blood.
Yeah, and I was like, I have this thing in my head now. I don't do that sexy dress up. I try to go the opposite. I knew my friend was called out, and I knew she'd be like Catwoman or something. I was like,
and what was she?
Catwoman.
Okay.
I was dead right. Boots up to here, and she's gorgeous. But I was like, I'm kind of overdoing the sexy dress up Halloween. I'd rather just be scary because that's what Halloween is.
I'll dress up as superheroes because I shit loads of costumes.
Oh yeah. So anyway, we won't go on and on and on about Halloween in case someone's listening to this in April.
Yeah, exactly.
Happy Easter.
So last episode 9. I know it's been like a longer time, but like I got a huge reaction to it. I don't know what about you?
Yeah,
a lot of people said it was their favourite episode.
I got that too, and I was surprised because in my head it was just another episode. It was grand, but a lot of people said to me we came across more real.
Yeah, it was a more serious tone, and like obviously, as I said on the night at the time, like. We were recording that episode on the 6-month anniversary of my father passing away, so I wasn't in a great place that day.
No.
And I had to admit it because I felt like some of my answers and some of my reactions to
it was coming across. Yeah,
I could feel the anger pouring out of me, and it wasn't really anger. It was grief. So I talked about it, but I didn't know how much of a reaction that was going to get, because literally since that came out, every day I've had people messaging me, contacting me about it, and like some really lovely stuff. Just like how it touched them, they cried and stuff like that, which thank you very much, that really means a lot to me to hear.
Yeah.
But I have had some people kind of coming to me with issues that they're going through themselves, looking for advice. Now, I am a qualified counsellor, but I'm not going to advise people through text. What I have done in those cases is refer people to really good counsellors that I know, and that's all I can do there. I can't really start counselling people through Instagram DMs. And I'm sorry if that's disappointed people, but like it would be completely unethical of me to try and do that anyway. So if you do come to me, I will obviously talk to you and I will direct you towards a really good counsellor.
Because some people don't know who they go to,
exactly.
Or
if, you know, if what they're experiencing is normal, or they obviously don't feel like it's normal, stuff like that. And in a lot of cases, it's very normal. Everyone goes through.
And can I ask you something? If it's normal what they're going through or their stress or whatever, would you say go to a counsellor anyway? Should everyone get counselling? I just never know. Like,
I believe, like, we'll say, you know what, I will tell my story, my own personal story, because a lot of people are asking me to.
Okay.
From the point of view that, like, and this kind of was touched upon when I did those Instagram questions.
Yeah.
Someone asked the question, like, you have said on the podcast that you're a qualified counsellor, but you never really talk about mental health. Why? And I kind of gave a short answer to that, but I'll give a longer, proper answer now. And I'll also, because I was asked, I spoke to to like a group of boys in the CBS secondary school here in Limerick about mental health last week. I gave a speech. And again, people saw that and again questioned why I don't talk more about mental health.
Yeah.
And like I do have like my reasons. I will always talk about mental health if I'm asked. But like, I suppose, okay, so I will tell my story, my own story with mental health, if that's okay with you.
I'd like to hear it.
I have had so many people encouraging me, asking me to do this. They think you should talk more about mental health because it's good for men to hear a man talking about mental health. So, right, here's my, and this is like fresh because I gave a speech to these guys, the young men last week.
Okay.
So when I was very, very young, like 6, like my mother had a brain tumor.
Okay.
And like obviously that was a traumatic thing for a child to witness anyway. But see, my mother, after the operation to remove the tumor, she was left kind of disfigured.
Okay.
So like she would have been an absolute beauty queen before that.
Yeah.
Even people now, when they like from Nina, who would have known my mother back the years and work out now who I am, they like that's the first thing they said to me, oh my God, she was such a beautiful woman, she was such a beauty.
Stunner, yeah.
But then she had the operation to remove her brain tumor, and like so one side of her face was left frozen, one of her hands was left spasticated. Oh, yeah. So
like I didn't know any of this. The story you're hearing is a new story for me, yeah.
So that obviously had a very traumatic effect on her. Like as you can imagine, like you and I were just talking about cosmetic shit here beforehand, and like you know, like if I have a bad skin day, I don't feel as confident or whatever. So you can imagine being a very, very beautiful person, someone known for your beauty.
Yeah.
And then all that's ripped away from you.
And it doesn't even go slowly with age. It's gone one day.
Your looks are completely gone. She would be very tough. She hated being. She was on account of that. She became very, very depressed.
Okay.
So and like she would rarely appear in public. If she did, she would wear these massive Sophia Loren sunglasses long before they were fashionable to hide most of her face. And like when I was a kid, I wasn't really allowed to have many friends over at the house, because we kind of had to hide what was going on from the world. Now, that sounds terrible, but that's the way
that was your normal.
This was before it was, you know, okay to talk about mental health. The way in the country, it was, everything was hush-hush. You didn't want the neighbours to find out. So that
she was depressed.
Yeah, so there was only 2 of my friends were allowed to call over to the house, and very, very seldomly. One of them they're both still lifelong friends. I was actually shopping in Dublin with one of them yesterday. Now he knows all of my secrets and stuff like that, but at the time I obviously wasn't going to tell him. We were children.
Yeah.
Explain the situation to him.
Yeah.
Or anyone.
You hardly understood it yourself.
Exactly. I hardly understood it myself. But I grew up around sickness and depression.
Okay.
But like, I wasn't really aware of like how I felt about it because I was a child and I was a teenager.
It was just your normal at that time. Yeah.
I knew it wasn't normal. I knew our normal wasn't everyone else's normal. But I couldn't talk to my family about it because like it was all shh, don't mention it.
Okay.
I couldn't talk to the outside world about it because it was ingrained into me that this is a secret and we don't talk about what's going on here.
Okay.
But like all that. A very good friend of mine, I've actually spoken about him before, he's an amazing counsellor here in Limerick. He's also blind by his brother.
Yeah.
He gave me an analogy that I've stolen from him, but I'm saying I stole it from him, of a bottle of Lucozade. Like if you drop a bottle of Lucozade a couple of times, if you take the lid off it, all of a sudden, everything's going to explode.
Okay.
But it's going to build up and build up and build up. The good thing to do is kind of loosen the lid a little bit and let it dribble out. My bottle of Lucozade was bubbling for years because I never talked about anything and I hid everything. And
you were in a situation that it was hush hush. You were nearly told not to. Whereas nowadays you'd be saying to your kids, talk about it, talk about
exactly.
it.
And this is what I was saying to these kids last week. But I suppose the one good thing that did come from that time period was because I had kind of a hard time. I grew up at a wrong time. My brother and sister are older than me. They grew up. They had a happy childhood. I didn't because I grew up at the wrong time.
So you were 6, 7 when this happened?
Yes.
So like, it was right smack bang in the middle.
When I was a teenager, I became very, very close to my father. Like we were best friends and we continued to be best friends all of the rest of his life.
Yeah.
So that was the good thing that came out of it because he minded me a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit closer to me because of what I had to grow up around.
Yeah.
But it didn't really all come to a head until my mother then had like a few episodes. Like I've never admitted this before, but the first time I went to college after I did the Leaving Cert, I had to drop out because of a depressive episode with my mother. I told people I was just sick of the course and I was lazy and stuff like that. Okay. That wasn't the truth.
And what do you mean? You just needed to be at home or and look after?
I needed to come home because of something that happened.
Okay.
So that kind of, my mother then became very, very seriously ill. She had like continuing her brain. She had a shunt put in years after the first brain operation, and it must be about 10 years ago now. My mother, the shunt started kind of blocking, and then one day she went into a coma, and she was in a coma for months. She was in the Beaumont Hospital for months, but she was left severely brain damaged and handicapped after that year.
Okay.
But during that time, again, I'm not even aware of how I'm feeling about stuff, but my body is. I'm not talking to anyone about this stuff.
You're what age? Like
late teens.
Okay.
So what's happening to me is I'm waking up every morning and finding clumps of hair on my pillow. Now I'm freaking the fuck out. You know what I mean? Because I look after my appearance and stuff like that. So that obviously is a thing. It's not like even you're going bald or your hairline is receding. Lumps of hair are on the pillow.
Yeah.
So this is my body's way of telling me something is seriously wrong. So I went to the GP.
So it comes out physically when you're mentally
exactly.
stressed.
If you block it out that much,
you
don't talk about it, well then your body will fucking force it out. But I don't know any of this at the time.
Yeah, you know nothing about psychology. No. You're not a counsellor at this stage. You're nearly ignorant to it.
Absolutely, completely ignorant to my own feelings.
But so many people are.
I know.
Yeah,
but that's
it's great that you're talking about it because so many people are. I said to like someone recently like about psychology, and they were like, "Oh, that's just hocus pocus." Some people still have that. You know, older people have that attitude, and it's wrong.
So I went to my GP because I was finding lumps of hair on my pillow, and like I'll never forget, I saw myself on a CCTV camera and I saw this big bald like lump at the back of my head, and I was like, oh my god, that's what forced me to go to the GP because I was trying to hide it. Again, that old country mentality, don't go to the doctor type
thing. Over something to do with your looks nearly. Yeah, exactly. Which is silly,
And my doctor told me there's nothing wrong with you. It's stress. And like I told her what was going on.
Alopecia, is it, or something like that? Or?
It's not alopecia. There is a name for it. It's a big long name.
It comes out in patches.
Yeah. And it's stress related. And like I've written about it, and I can't, like, the name is like 22 letters long. Yeah. But it is a condition.
Yeah.
And so I told her what was going on. She said, you need to talk to a counsellor. Now, there was a counsellor that worked out of her practice that she referred me to. So I started going to counselling. And I went to counselling for like 4 years. And like it changed my life.
Okay.
I dealt with like a lot of the things that I was bottling up. I dealt with a lot of issues that I was like even unaware of were issues. And it changed the way I was as a person because it made me so much more self-aware.
Yeah.
Right. And like the reason I'm here doing a podcast, the reason I'm able to be on Instagram is because I went to counselling. I wouldn't, like the person I was 10 years ago, there's no way I would have been able to do any of this if I hadn't gone to counselling. But then I went for 4 years, I stopped. But then when my mother passed away in 2013, like everyone like around me in the family were like just falling on their knees because they couldn't handle it. I was the one who was holding everybody up. I was the one who was picking everybody up. I was the one who was keeping the show on the road because, well, I was going to counselling at the time as well.
Yeah.
The self-awareness and the strength that I gained from going to counselling really helped me get through that period. So much so that even members of my family said, like, you should be a counsellor.
Yeah.
A few months later, I had a falling out with my regional manager in the bank, who was a dick. Dave, if you're listening, you're a dick.
You were working in the bank.
Yeah.
Dave the dick from the bank.
You're a dick, Dave. But you know what, Dave? You did me a massive favour because, like, you being a dick to me forced me to leave the bank, go back to college, do the course, which led to all of the things that are happening in my life now. But, so, like, I went back.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. So I went back and I did a counselling and psychotherapy course and went through and won student of the year and got a 1-1 and did all that. And like I've had so many amazing things happen since. Like I worked for 6 months in the Irish Wheelchair Association and counselling
you were telling
people.
me about that. Yeah,
like it's an amazing thing. But we'll say that's my story. Like and like so many people will say it's okay not to be okay, and like that's
it's
so true.
Saying,
but like what I'll say is
Thanks
if you're going through something, like don't bottle it up. Even if talk to a friend, talk to a family member, but I couldn't talk to a friend or a family member.
Saying if you can talk to a friend or a family member,
but I think
do you still need counselling, or sometimes there's not enough counselling?
No, because so like there's in counselling that's what they call the worry well, and that's like troubles and stuff like that. There's more serious things like people irrational thoughts, like consumed by irrational thoughts that your family are going to die, that sort of stuff. You do need to talk to a counsellor. You do need to do a CBT. Yeah. Now, so that is kind of my story, and like this year has been a really, really particularly bad year for me personally. Like as I said, my father, when I was a teenager.
When you go back to counselling, then would that help?
Yes, I have been. Yeah. But my father was my best friend since my teens, and I lost him this year. That has been so tough for me on a personal level. I also broke up with someone. Now, we had only just got back together a short time, but this person was in my life for 10 years, on and off. I have no contact with them anymore. So that was a double whammy because they both hit at the same time. But like the first thing I did was go back to my counsellor. I tell you who my counsellor is because like I'm not ashamed to say I go to counselling. She is the most amazing counsellor in the world. Alison Cowpar in Adair is my counsellor.
Okay.
But I also, I think from the course that I did have this kind of heightened sense of self-awareness.
Yeah.
That sometimes I can even counsel myself and I can do like kind of pros and cons and cost-benefit analysis of what's going on, stuff like that. But I know if something is like really, really troubling me or keeping me awake at night, I need to go to a counsellor.
So that's when you kind of say, right, I have to go. I need professional kind of guidance here. Yeah, absolutely. And like, it really helps, and it has helped me so much. I wouldn't be the person that I am now, today. I wouldn't have done the things that I've done in the last few years if it wasn't for the help of some fantastic counsellors. Yeah. And so, like, that's okay, so that's my story, and like that's kind of what's brought me to this point. But I've been asked straight out, why don't you talk about this? Why, like, your story could help other people and stuff like that. Fine. And that's why I've just told my story there. But there's a part of me that kind of is uncomfortable with social media, like with mental health being used as social media content for the sake of having content.
like what I mean, and that sounds extremely cynical, but I actually did overhear a conversation during the summer at an event in Dublin. I don't know who the person was, so I'm not going to name and shame them, but I was eavesdropping on two people speaking, and they were kind of introducing themselves to each other, and one guy was saying, like, so what's your what's your Instagram about? It's like, well, right now it's kind of like positivity and mental health stuff, but not really getting on the radar of brands, so I think I'll switch it up to fashion. And I felt like turning around and slapping the person.
Yeah.
That pisses me off.
It's all about business rather than actually...
I admire all of the people, I'll even name some of them, Nothing Plain About This, Jane Delahunty, Clodagh Cahill, like, they have gone through, like, life experiences, and they are talking about their life experiences to help other people, to show other people, like, you know, you can get through stuff, and it's good to talk about and stuff like that. And I really admire people like that.
Yeah.
I don't like the oversaturation of
using it for
content,
followers and content. And
exactly.
likes and,
like, I'm not going to name the person, but there was someone just last week did a story about mental health and their experiences with mental health and advising people on how to get through it, which I actually thought fair play. Good to see. Mm-hmm. Good to see people talk about it. But then I know that person then, like, messaged about 50 bloggers, begging those bloggers to share it so they could get more attention and get more followers. That's pretty. That pisses me off. That actually touches the nerve. That just pisses you off.
Touches the nerve. But at the same time, I suppose if I looked at that and it helped me or someone else, then if it helps one or two people, great. But that is a bit sad, you know.
There's a cynical element to it.
It
goes back
sad.
to the conversation I overheard during the summer, and I know people who on Instagram, they're lovely. They're like, girls raise each other up and be kind always and be kind, positive to everybody. Yeah. And then you meet them when they're not, their phone isn't in their hand, and they're like, fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Fucking bitch.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of that.
Oh my God, I that's what I hate. And that's why I don't really do the mental health thing on social media. It's because I just feel like there's too many people doing it for the sake of getting likes and follows. I'm a qualified counsellor. I have worked as a counsellor. I have my own story.
Of all people, you could definitely be exploiting it, but you don't want to.
That's the word.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be exploiting it to try and get more popular, and I won't do that.
Yeah, your Instagram is more about fashion and, you know.
But my
you want
Instagram,
to keep it that way, kind of.
It's not even that it's about fashion. I want to keep it that way. Like, I'm very conscious of, like, I did my bloody thesis on the effects of social media on people's self-esteem.
Yeah.
And, like, so I'm very careful about what I put online. Like, a lot of my Instagram is just me looking with a moody face on me walking down the street.
But you usually take the mick out of yourself, which I think is hilarious.
I do, but
you know, in a jokey way. But I like that.
I do, but I keep my life private and my life kind of off Instagram.
You do.
Because I don't want. I'll never do a thing like, oh, look, I'll go into the car dealership and sit into a Range Rover and, hey guys, look at this, new car, here we are. I won't fucking do it because, like, I don't want to make anyone else feel bad about their life by comparing it to mine.
Well, that's nice.
This is me. Someone actually said to me at the weekend about the podcast, like, that I was very fake. Yeah. And that I'm playing a character and it's a one-dimensional character.
I don't agree.
I don't agree either, to be honest with you.
Here and
we don't prepare any of this. This shit comes flying to me, and I give you my honest response.
I have a few things written up on the board there, just so that I don't have to be looking at my phone. But we have, like, just a few ideas. We just throw it out there, and people write to us and ask us, and we give our opinion. And I was just saying to Patrick before this, sure, it's only our opinion, but
exactly
that's what people are listening for. So,
but to reiterate, I admire people who have come out the other side of a struggle with mental health and feel like sharing their story is going to help other people.
Yeah.
Please keep doing that, because now, like, I don't think that big stigma about talking about your mental health is completely gone. Like, Prince Harry has come out and admitted that he suffered with depression after what happened to Princess Diana. Oh. That's amazing. The Rock talks about it. Ryan Gosling. People talk about their struggles with mental health, and it's a good thing because you can see that and you say, well, okay. Well, if they went to counselling, there's nothing stopping me.
And the thing is, it's changed everything, because if there's a new family now, you know, like, so say people in their 20s now have kids, and the similar thing that happened, your family happened, it wouldn't be hush hush nowadays.
Exactly, and that's fantastic.
That's fantastic.
And I love that.
Yeah.
But to answer the question, the reason I don't talk about it and the reason I don't come on and, like, put up all these inspirational quotes and stuff like that is because of that. I don't want to be seen to try and exploit a situation to get likes and follows, and I do unfortunately think there is a little bit of too much of that going on.
Yeah.
This is me. This is the real bloody well me. Okay?
Now you know everything, and it's
all out there.
It's
now.
all out there. Yeah. Fair play to you, Patrick.
And as I said, if I have a problem, I will go to a counsellor, and I encourage anyone who is struggling with something, and if you can't talk about it to your friend or your family, or if you do and they don't know how to help you, please go to a counsellor. Talk to your GP. Talk to a counsellor. That is the message.
Yeah.
Right. And like I said, and another thing I said to the young guys there in Sexting Street was, while everyone, and like, it's a good message to say it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
It's also okay to look okay. You don't need to be comparing yourself to these perfect photoshopped people on Instagram either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, genuinely.
Well, you know, you were saying you did your thesis on that. What did you come up with? I'm interested to know.
Well, the majority of it was related to Facebook.
Oh, right.
So this was 2 years ago, and the game has completely changed because now you have Instagram is much more popular.
Do you know the way I say to you, sometimes I delete my Instagram for a few days?
But it does.
As a counsellor, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? Or should
I think it's a very good thing. It's very healthy.
To do that sometimes.
Exactly. And like, social media does have a very negative impact on people's self-esteem. Absolutely. You know yourself.
But then realistically, should I not be on it then? You know, as in, if you're just saying black is black and white is white, Anna,
I hate black is black and white is white, Anna.
Okay.
And black and white thinking is problematic.
Okay.
Okay? There's no need for... Not everything has to be one way or the other.
So just take a break.
There are little bits in the middle. And if taking a break works for you, then that's what you should do. But it doesn't have to be, I'm either on it or I'm not on it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that black and white thinking...
because sometimes I feel like...
I'm guilty of that too sometimes.
If I have to do that, why don't I just delete it and get on with my life? Because sometimes I really like it.
But why exactly?
Yeah.
So why not have it and just know what it is, and know what you're looking at, and not let it affect you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's true. There's actually I got a tip from a girl during the week on Instagram. There's in the settings part, you go into your Instagram app, you can set it that it'll tell you when you've spent an hour on Instagram a day. I didn't know that, so I've used that now. So if it comes up that I've spent an hour, then I'm finished. I don't look at Instagram for the rest of the day.
And I saw a guy giving a speech during the week about like influencers, and like influencers are called influencers because they have influence.
Yeah.
So you need to use your power for good.
Yeah.
Like, so influence people to be better.
Yeah.
Like, to feel better about themselves. I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
So like, you're never going to see my fake fabulous life because it's not fucking fabulous.
Yeah.
I work for a life insurance company, as you know.
Yeah.
So if I was doing those daily stories about, hey guys, here just chilling in the crib, I'd be doing it from the office of a life insurance company. It's not that interesting.
It's not
my life is not fabulous. This year has been far from fabulous.
Yeah.
So know that. Don't be jealous of me. Don't compare yourself to me because there's nothing to be jealous of.
And nobody has it all.
No,
exactly. Nobody's life is perfect, and nobody, whether they're pretending to or not, they have their ups and downs as well.
Now, let's change direction here.
Well, thanks, Patrick, for that, though. That
a little bit of a somber tone or whatever again.
Nice of you to share that.
Thank you.
And I'm sure people will really appreciate it.
Okay.
So I'm just looking up at our... I'm back to a very light note.
Nudes.
I'm looking up at our board, and the first thing it says is nudes. Discuss
no, the first thing
nudes.
it says is mental health, and then followed by nudes.
Followed by nudes.
Okay, so this was actually a feedback that I got, or a question that I got, because like, the person was kind of pointing out that when we did our now infamous BuzzFeed purity test, that we both admitted that we have sent naked pictures
in the past. Yeah.
And we've been naked on video chat and stuff like that, which kind of they thought that it probably was contradictory to maybe messages that we would have put out in the early episodes or whatever. So they want to know, what is our position on sexting and sending nudes, and when is it appropriate, when is it not appropriate? Yeah.
So, well, like, hello, Colin.
The face. There's just been a video bombed by Colin.
Right.
What is your position on this? Pardon the pun.
On nudes. So, my position on nudes, like, I changed like the wind. Like, I could have had a different opinion 3 months ago, 3 weeks ago, 3 years ago. But at the moment, like, I wouldn't send nudes in a fit to someone unless I was going out with them, unless they're my boyfriend. But I'd have no problem sending a nude to my boyfriend.
Okay.
Yeah, like if.
And when do you think that? Because I remember you said a couple of episodes ago you were not on Snapchat because you feel
no,
like.
I have it still, like just for you.
But yeah, I'm not getting nudes before anyone jumps to that conclusion. She's asked me to send them, alright, but
yeah. I've always asked you to send nudes. I know.
But so but you said that you don't like use Snapchat because they're getting it for free.
Yeah, I don't
So
mean
what
pictures
point
of
is that-
nudes. I just mean pictures of me. Like
Okay.
I've told you this a million times.
So we've both admitted that we've sent nudes, basically.
Yeah,
here,
but
okay.
they have been only to my
yeah
boyfriend or partner. I wouldn't send nudes.
I've I have sent nudes and like I've gotten nudes.
Yeah, so
stuff like
someone
that.
was just like, why did you do that?
Like, yeah, I wouldn't send them to Jesus, because there's the fucking trust element there as well. Do you know
Maybe
what I mean?
your face.
And I have been threatened with like someone putting a video of me on the internet when I ended the relationship with them. So like
Patrick Lockley sex tape.
once, well, not really a sex tape. It was just a nude helicopter in a hotel room. If you know. Yeah, so do you know what? I called the bluff and I said, I don't give a fuck.
Throw it up there, yeah.
And I know someone else who's been blackmailed in that respect
God,
as well.
it's dangerous, yeah.
It is dangerous, so there's a trust element there for me as well. I wouldn't be just... But here's the thing.
Yeah.
I do know, because I actually read something about this yesterday. Like, there was a survey done, and 90-something% of the women that were surveyed had received dick pics. And of that 90-something%, over 70% received unsolicited dick pics. Which is like, you open a random Snapchat and it's a dick.
Oh.
I wouldn't do that in a million fucking years, right? But I obviously, the statistics don't lie. Guys do that, right? Has that happened to you?
No.
You've never gotten an unsolicited... Because fucking I have. I have gotten
What's
unsolicited
wrong with me?
dick
Why is
pics.
no one sending me unsolicited dick pics?
Do you want them?
No, I'm only messing. I
But
don't. No.
that's the thing, because like, that's... I suppose,
Girls don't want them, and
do they? Okay.
No, because actually I have
Have you had this
experience
conversation
lately.
with your girly friends? Because
I have only lately.
this is my this is how I think, right? That like girls do not like dick pics, but they
No.
pretend that they like them just like to
Lads.
play to the guy's ego or whatever.
Do they pretend? I don't think we pretend.
I've been asked for them by girls.
Oh, have you?
I've had a girl, and I remember actually one night hearing her telling someone, "Oh, I hate when a lad sends me a dick pic, and I would never send news and stuff like that." And the same fucking girl was like one night onto me asking for me to send a dick pic, and I kept saying no, because I was seeing someone at the time and I really liked the person. And she pulled open her top. She's like, "How about now?" And I was like, "How about no?" And she started abusing me then. And then I overheard her saying one night, "Oh, I hate dick pics and I would never send a nude." And I said, "You're full of fucking shit."
Yeah.
But like, I have been asked.
Okay, so girls,
But
do
that's
you
what I'm
like?
saying.
I'd like to know.
Why are
I'd
they
like to get some
asking?
feedback.
Is it just to like?
I genuinely I've had this conversation very lately with friends, and we just came up with we don't want dick pics.
Because okay,
We don't even get dick pics. I think dick pics is a thing that people talk about, and it's funny, but I don't think it happens as much as people
Oh God,
let
it
on.
does.
But then you're telling me it does, so I don't know. I definitely
Okay, so from
don't like a
the
picture
guy
of it.
obviously thinks, right?
Really?
He's watched the video on Pornhub, and he's seen like a guy sends a picture of his dick to a woman. She's like, "Oh my God, get over here right now! I need that dick."
No, I'd be like,
But that's
actual fuck
that's
is
real
wrong
life.
with
But
him.
the guy gets carried away, and he thinks like he's, "Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you?" Gets a little bit of a flirtatious vibe. Boom.
Yeah.
What does
My advice out there would be, lads, don't do that. But you're saying,
like obviously the right advice is don't do
yeah,
that.
I don't think you should. I definitely, I'd be blocking someone straight away if I got
Most
it.
people would.
Yeah.
That's
So lads, don't
in my
do
mind,
it. If you
women,
think it's the right thing, if you're seeing someone even, don't do it. Even if you think it's flirty, don't do it. Don't send a dick pic like that. It's too vulgar.
Okay.
It's too much.
from the woman's point of view, and here's the thing: that's my understanding is like a woman's like relationship, let's say, with a guy's bits is very different to how a guy feels about a woman's bits. Like guys love getting titty pics or nudes or whatever.
Do they?
Yeah. Now I can see like obviously you're a woman. Like, so what would you like a guy to send if you were in a relationship and you were like you were sexting and you were flirting and stuff like that? Like, obviously you've just said
don't send
the meat
pics.
is not what you want to see. But what would you want to see? Like, do you see like a naked man with like muscles and stuff like that, and go, ooh, is that what you want to see?
No, it's not.
Don't be afraid.
I'm not being afraid.
Okay.
I'm actually thinking like.
So what?
Girls, well, like, as far as I'm concerned, my opinion again.
Okay, you're watching a movie and fucking Chris Hemsworth comes on the screen topless. Are you going?
You know
ooh.
what? I've got pictures of guys like, you know, kind of a mirror selfie, and you can see they're ripped or whatever, you know. And I've admired it, as in I'm like, very nice. But it has two effects on me, and I know a lot of my girlfriends would be the same. You'd be like, okay, he's ripped, very impressive, what a ride, but it would put you off their personality, the fact that they'd send you that. So it just shows them, they're just, like, if I on Tinder come across, like, for example,
okay, on Tinder you're just showing it to
or anywhere,
that's narcissistic, but if it's a private thing to you,
it just depends on the way it comes across. If I feel like he sent it to loads of people, you'd be like, grand, I don't know, it's a very fine line with guys. You don't want them to be kind of narcissistic, or it nearly comes across as it's nearly more impressive. Less is more with guys, you know, that they don't know they have it.
This is just your opinion, though. Do you think you speak for all women, or is this you? Have you had this?
No, I know for a fact that like a lot of girls that I know, if they saw like a guy ripped in a mirror selfie, say on their Tinder or on their Facebook or on their Instagram, they'd be like, oh yeah, he looks lovely, but there's no way to date them then.
So why then? And it does happen, because it's happened to me many times. Girls ask me to send like a nude, send a dick pic, send a topless pic, or whatever. Why are they doing that? So
maybe they're into it. The fact that you're not. So you don't do it too often.
Do we need to put this out to the?
Yeah, I don't know why they're, because. You're not.
We need to do a few of the polls on the Love Life podcast when this comes out, and see what the general consensus is, and we won't name and shame anybody.
Literally, if I see a topless photo of a guy with a six-pack on on Tinder or on Bumble, I will swipe left. I do not want to see that guy. I do not want to date that guy.
Okay.
That's just me, but I know a lot of the girls are like that. You'd be cringing, like you'd be like, oh, so cringe.
We've established that.
Yeah.
So when, and we both admitted that we've done it, when is it okay then? If you're in a relationship with someone for 6 months and they're out of town for 2 weeks and you're not seeing them, what then? What do you...
You know each other then, you know it's not
What do you want to get from him, and what do you say? Like, obviously, the guy wants to see boobs, and he wants to see bums, and he wants to see nudies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, in my
experience, a girl more just wants a little bit of, oh, holy shit, you look unreal. They don't necessarily
They want a compliment,
They want a compliment. They don't necessarily need this, like, I'm doing a pose for those listening to the podcast, not watching it. They don't need a guy posing back as a cringe. I don't know why. Is a girl posing cringe?
No.
It's not.
I'm not going to fucking sit here and lie and tell you that, like, I don't like getting sexy photos from women.
Yeah.
Because I would be full of shit if I did.
I just feel there's a very fine line with guys for some reason, but not so much with girls. Guys will not find it as cringy. I don't know why.
But I think you're speaking for yourself there, and I think we probably need to put this out, because like, I don't think everyone feels the same way as you.
Okay.
And I don't think everyone would see like the topless torso on Tinder and swipe left.
Left is you don't want.
Left is no.
No, but a lot of my friends would see that as, oh Jesus, cringe. So a lot of girls that I know, like, that's all I'm speaking from is my own experience, my own mates.
Listeners to the Love Life podcast, and there are thousands of you apparently, from the figures that we're seeing.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on this? We're actually asking for feedback here.
Girls, what's your opinion on a guy?
Girls, do you want to see a guy's nudes? Do you want dick pics?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to own up and say that they do, but guys,
let us know your feedback.
I don't even need to ask if guys like getting dirty pictures of girls.
Because they do.
They do. And like, here's another one. Gay guys. Yeah. What's your take on this?
And girls.
Yeah, and gay girls, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you like? What do you want to see? What do you not want to see? Is it okay?
So we know.
Yeah. This is an invitation, by the way.
But yeah, we're interested to know. But this is kind of just my own opinion and your own opinion.
Yeah.
And maybe there's some guys that will be like, no, Patrick, I really don't like when a girl sends me a sexy photo because it puts me off her. It might, you know.
I know a guy.
Yeah.
He used to hate getting sexy photos because
Yeah.
it made him really, really uncomfortable. And then he felt pressure to send something back, and usually the
didn't know
girls
what
would
to
be
say.
asking, and like he would stop talking to the girl.
Okay, well there you go. There's another kind of side to it.
So there is that.
Yeah.
There is that.
Yeah.
If you're not body confident, you're not going to want to send nudes.
Yeah.
And if someone's sending to you, usually they're going to want it like it's a sexting thing. They want something back or whatever. And like if you're not confident in your body, then and so this guy would completely shut it down as soon as he got the news.
So there you go. You never know.
So there is that.
So let's see, what can we move on to now? That was interesting. I'm looking forward to our feedback. Nudes. Oh, this is a question I had.
Your writing is like starting and going down like that.
My writing has always been awful.
How to break up with someone you're seeing?
You're seeing, and do you need closure? And this is kind of coming from a. I'm very interested in this at the moment for some reason.
Change direction there.
Yeah. But so you're seeing someone, Patrick.
Yeah.
So what by seeing someone, what I mean when I say seeing someone is like when you've been seeing them maybe like 2 or 3 dates to 10 dates. You haven't had the talk, but you're generally seeing each other kind of once or twice a week, or that to me is seeing each other. There's no talk been had, and you're getting on great. Do you have to break up with that person if you decide it's not for you? Can you let it fizzle? What would you do in that situation?
Well, okay, so it actually depends on the circumstances of the whole thing. But if it was like, it was a thing, if you were seeing each other, like you were texting, you went on a couple of dates and stuff like that, and then you were just like, this isn't going anywhere. I don't think, like, there's enough of a bond there to have a talk.
Okay, because you haven't had any talk anyway.
Yeah,
like,
we talk about games and we throw about like ghosting.
So would you kind of ghost someone? And what is ghosting exactly?
It's just like not replying to them, and like your communication gets smaller and smaller until it's completely gone. Yeah, that's ghosting.
So it's either one. It's either just ignoring a text message or just letting it.
You could do the thing. Like I know. There was a girl I went on a couple of dates with there during the summer, and I knew, not for me. So I was trying to ghost her, and then she sent me a big message saying,
she wants to know why.
No, not that she wants to know why. I don't think this is going anywhere. I don't think we're compatible and everything like that. And I just like, yep, I agree.
Yeah, you knew it.
And anyway. She didn't I think she was in shock by that. I think maybe that she was putting it out there as in like, get off your hole and start making an effort type of thing. But I didn't want to. So that big long I just. Yep, totally agree with everything you said there. Yeah. No hard feelings. Had fun on the dates, but like I agree with everything you said. So like you've given me that, I'm running with it.
What I'd say to people as well.
But she didn't have to do that. She could have just let it fizzle out. Maybe she did. Like what she did was braver than what I was doing. Not even probably it was.
But sometimes you don't need that. That's what I'm saying.
No, I don't think you do.
You don't always need to know why. You don't always need the closure. Sometimes it feels like you want to know, but. You know what? If they're not making an effort, and if it's not really working, sometimes that's enough. You just know.
If you like, you clearly know, and like, there's always the thing of playing hard to get or whatever. But when playing hard to get turns into like you're like not even no communication. It's just like I'm making a fool out of myself now. Like I feel embarrassed that I'm continuing to like message you and getting little scraps of communication back. Like,
you know yourself, don't you?
And like that's usually the person. Then you're like, oh God, I want them so bad because they don't want me. I want them even more, type like that. But with time and with experience, you kind of.
With experience, I'm so over liking someone that doesn't like me. If you don't like me, that's the biggest turn off.
Yeah.
Whereas years ago, I would have been like, oh, I like you more. So if someone doesn't like you, what I'd say is, that should be enough, like. To just be like, oh, this is grand, at least I know now. But years ago I would have been all like, that would make me like them more. And I understand the mind games and all, but actually I'm so over that now.
One of my best friends used to always say to me, like, if a girl is really nice to me and shows a lot of interest, I won't even fucking message her. But if the girl is a bit of an ignorant bitch to me and like shows no interest whatsoever, she'll have to ring the guards because I'll be outside, like in the bushes type of thing. You know what I mean? And that, like, that's so funny, but a lot of guys are like that.
Yeah.
But like for me, just like where I am at life and my experience and everything like that, if a girl is like doing that to me,
it's a turn off now.
Good luck, fuck off.
And I'm actually pretty much the same, and I kind of say that to people. You know, if someone doesn't like you, well, by Jesus, like, respect yourself enough to not like them, and that'll give you your answer, you know.
I like had this experience recently. Like there was a girl I really liked, and we were getting on really great for ages.
Yeah.
And then like everything changed, and like the communication got lesser and lesser.
I've had the exact same experience.
The responses got lesser and lesser. The like attitude towards me kind of changed and stuff like that. And there was one moment where I just said, okay, cut it off.
So it's gone, it fizzled, and you don't need an answer.
Didn't send a message, didn't do anything like that. Didn't have to send a big long rant.
So in your head, like, you just dropped the mic.
In my head, I dropped the mic.
And that's all you need to do.
And there's no hard feelings.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
You see, I've had a similar situation.
Very nice girl, but like, okay, this whole playing hard to get thing or not interested thing, fine, that's where you're at. Good luck.
That's it. She's just sometimes they're just not that into you, and like you don't need the answers. Or there could be many reasons. There could be many reasons.
Yeah, it's fine.
Just because they didn't see it doesn't mean you don't have it.
My ego doesn't need an answer to that question. If she wasn't interested, like I can live with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
but
like,
I just want to say that again because I really feel like it's important to know that just because someone didn't see it in you doesn't mean you don't have it. You are a good person, you have lots going, and everyone gets rejected, and you don't always need to know the answer. That's it. Like, you don't need closure when you're seeing someone, if it fizzles or whatever. I know it's annoying, but
no, if it was
let it go.
If it was more than that, if it was like a relationship or something.
Oh yeah, then
I think like if you just if you ghost them and you just go off to the next one, that's a bit shitty.
It's not good enough.
Do you know what I mean? That's like if you've had kind of any bit of a bond, or you were like more than just meeting or dating or whatever.
Yeah.
You do owe someone an explanation, and like you can just explain. Look, I'm not ready for this. I don't see this going where I'd like to go. I don't think we're compatible. Like, and that's fine too. Your personalities sometimes clash.
Yeah.
And like it takes you a little while because everyone is on their best behavior in the beginning.
Yeah.
But like you can see things after a few weeks that you didn't see at the start that like will say, okay, this isn't going to work long term because we'd kill each other.
Yeah.
Not in a good way.
Have you any tips for like how do you know if someone's into you or not? You know, or how do you signs that they're not into you? Because one sign I would see like is I think if somebody doesn't kind of.
See, we have this whole new fangled like social media, telephone communication.
Yeah.
Really, you're gonna know if they're into you or not into you when you meet them in person.
Yeah.
It's hard to kind of like, and things can be misinterpreted through messages, like a text message. Like when you're reading a text message in your head, you're reading it in a certain tone of voice.
Yeah.
Might not be the tone of voice that the person was texting it in their head.
It's more about when you're with them. But I feel like when you're with them, if they're not after a while dropping down their barriers a little bit and being vulnerable, I think when someone's been a little bit vulnerable, that's a real sign to me that they like me because they're showing me their true colours a little bit, and then you feel like you can be a little bit vulnerable.
You're saying that, right?
Yeah.
But then there are women who don't want men to be vulnerable at all. Like I saw someone put up a meme. I'm not going to call her out because she's a very nice girl. But someone put up a meme of on Instagram, and it was like 2 lines, and the first line, like it was men. First line was, "I'm going to go fix the sink, pick up the kids, build a shelf, and then I'll come home and have sex with you later." And that was the first line, and this is the big line. And then the second line was a line with a perm. And said the perm line was saying, "No, babe, sure, Love Island's on at 9. You can't do that," type of thing. And the thing was, what happened to men being men? So like, that's great, but that we had this big chat about Me Too and feminism and all that sort of stuff like that. Make up your mind. Do you want men to be like big, old-fashioned, rugged guys who fix the stairs for you and don't talk about their feelings, or do you want guys to be more open and vulnerable and talk about what's going on in their head and be okay with being like weak and stuff like that? Because you're going to have to make up your minds, guys. And that's another reason why men can't talk about their problems. Because of this old-fashioned perception that we all have to beat the line.
No, I think as you get to know someone, when you're seeing someone after a while, you would drop barriers a little bit. Like, that's part of falling for someone.
You should.
And if they're not dropping them, or if you're not dropping yours, then you're only kind of maybe in it for the fun or something.
I'm sure you've come across a girl who's broken up with a guy because he's too sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
and then they're just not for you, but you have to start dropping the barriers. If you don't want to, then that's a sign you're probably not really into it.
I agree with you. But
or if they're not dropping their barriers.
But if the guy is dropping his barriers and the woman is thinking like, such a misfortune, that's not right either.
No,
so like,
no, but it'll all come right when it is right, you know. Yeah. Like, that's what we're saying. It's hard to find it all, but I mean, you can't just have your barriers up all the time.
You're right. Yeah. And the guys need to talk and guys need to open up to women and stuff like that. Yeah. But then don't ridicule them and make them into the perm line who wants to watch Love Island if they do. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I don't. I definitely think, like, I love deep talk and get to know someone and, you know.
I agree with you.
Stay up all night and talk rot. And, you know, really, like, I don't want to talk about the weather or the fucking... how was your week in work or whatever, you know. I want to, no, I'm not saying on the first date, but I'm saying, like, drop those barriers. If you like someone, that is what will get them connected to you and you to them. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
100% agree with you. You know? But you have to trust that person before you drop those barriers.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Tip of the week.
Yeah, tip of the week. It's like, because we're my usual go girls tip of the week, but my tip of the week this week is prioritize your priorities, you know. So sometimes I would find, and I was laughing at my tip of the week, but it just kind of motivates people.
There's a theme, that's right.
There's always a theme, yeah. But prioritize your priorities. So don't let dating or seeing someone who's not that important to you, I mean, you hardly know him, you've only had a couple of dates with him, take over your mind more than your family or your job or your children or whatever you might have. Sit down at night time, you know, every now and again and think, what are my real priorities? You know, and don't let dating take over that. You know, give something time, but only enough to keep you ticking over. Don't prioritize. Don't think more about the guy that you've been dating for 3 weeks than your 13-year-old daughter. You know what I mean? Give that. And it can happen. It can happen. So prioritize your priorities and sit down, even if you have to write them out and realize what's really important. Because if somebody wants to be your priority and you want them to be your priority, that'll happen. It'll get there, you know, slowly but surely. But don't let it take over too quickly.
I agree, but I think there is a certain element when you meet someone really really cool.
It can take over a little bit, yeah.
And I think it's okay that it can take over a little bit, and it's normal. And lads especially will slag lads, you put their face on a wanted poster.
You don't see them
this guy because they're mad about the girl that they've just met.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, to be honest with you. Now you're right. If you just meet a fella and then you all of a sudden you're dumping your 13-year-old kid on someone else and you're leaving the country to go on holidays and dumping your kids on the neighbours and stuff like that, and that's not good.
Well, until you know that you're their priority also. I mean, it could... my phone is ringing.
Oh, God.
Wait.
Prioritise your priority.
Prioritise my priorities.
Jesus.
That's probably a priority. I don't know the number. But, so that's it. It's just, I suppose, I mean, eventually, if you're seeing someone and it gets more serious and become a relationship, they can be also your priority as much as your family and everything else. But don't let it happen too quickly. Try and control it a little bit. Because I've even had this situation with work and things over the years. We've had, I even slagged the guy that I gig with, you know. We both had the love bug at different stages, you know, with other people. So I might have been in a relationship at one stage at the start and it's also exciting, and I might be well, I only want to do so many gigs a month now because I need all of a sudden I need Saturday nights off, and there was no telling me, but I was just in the love bug, and he's what the actual fuck, how do I deal with this? And then he was in the love bug and similar things would happen. We'd be, you know, he'd be prioritising his new relationship over work. That could happen. And I remember one particular Sunday, he was off in Dublin with his significant other. We never had a Sunday off, that wasn't normal, but all of a sudden, but I had to let it slide because he was prioritising that a little bit. But then when we're both now again on a level playing field, we laugh at these things, because you do, at the start, you do let priorities slide for your new partner, you know, but it's important not to let your business go at the same time.
But is there anything wrong with that? okay, remember your whole thing about if they're not head, neck and heels.
I know.
So like if your partner, music partner there, was like prioritizing like the music and all that sort of stuff, and kind of only giving half attention to his new love.
Yeah.
And his new love is sitting on the other side of that. Oh, he's not head, neck,
it's
and
hard
heels.
to
Fuck
know.
him. He's not communicating. He's not contacting me. He's going off doing
You need
gigs.
a happy medium.
He's not making time for me.
Do you know that love bug feeling though? There's nothing like
good.
it. You'll actually be like, do you know what? I don't mind. I'll just go on the dole so I can see you every day. Don't do that.
Okay, don't go on the dole. But I think prioritize your priorities. Yes.
But keep them as priorities.
Be kind of like clinical, and then like, okay, no. Sorry, I have to go to work now. Like, obviously, go to work.
Yeah, go to work.
Don't like fight the love bug. The love bug is good.
No, it's lovely. Enjoy it, but still be a little bit rational.
And you of all people, you love that love bug, and you want that attention and that communication from the guy. So if the guy then is taking that and he's prioritizing his priorities, but my work and my friends and my family and my job and my kids are all more important than Anna. Anna's on the other side of that phone going,
well, fuck him anyway.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
He's not head, neck and heels. I'm out.
Okay.
Drop the mic.
Yeah. Okay, fine. My tip of the week is just
shit all over your tip of the week.
I just shit all over my tip of the week.
You're right.
Yeah, I just think
have some chill.
No, have some chill.
There
I mean, when we look at each other, me and my business partner,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
When we look at it, we both laugh at the way that we acted when we were in the love bug. And he often says, "Oh God, I hope you don't ever get that love bug again, because it affects."
Well, I think it's okay. So long as you don't.
Well, it's okay, but he could have very easily lost me, or I could have lost him.
And you're not calling in sick to work and like running the risk of getting fired and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's too far.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, but don't fight the love bug.
No, don't fight the love bug, but try and keep your priorities, because you mightn't actually be with that person in a few months, and then you'd be like, shit, I don't. Yeah, but I no longer have my job or my.
Okay, don't risk your job or
don't
your relationships with the people who have been in your life long time.
Yes, exactly. That was my tip of the week. But there's always controversy with my tip of the week. That's the way it is.
Yeah, I feel like I always kind of go after your tip of the week.
Okay.
I don't mean
It's okay. It's okay. So I suppose we better start wrapping up. Like, how long are we here? Or are we here a long time?
We have been here a long time.
Yeah.
He's come in and done his thing twice.
But he's given us a few hints.
It's an hour.
Yeah. We won't go into
road
the road.
no?
I don't think so, because I think we've hit enough this week.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think a lot of people are rooting for you. Yeah, but they're saying that Mary shouldn't let go of her man, but they're rooting for you.
Okay.
So let's have to see how that goes.
Yeah. Are we doing it now or next week?
Let's leave it. Okay, let's try. Well, we've been talking about a guest for so long. It's just
nobody wants to hang out with us. Obviously,
that's actually not the case. It's just that finding a time to record this that suits me, suits Anna, and suits Billy, and then also suits a guest is very difficult and very problematic.
Oh, sure, we're busy people. The boom is back.
Yeah, the boom is back.
I'm off to Killarney now.
Fair play to you.
You're off to some event.
I'm going to the opening of a new hair salon in Limerick. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Very nice.
You looked up there, I got a haircut.
Yeah, you got a haircut. Lovely.
I hate it.
I'm actually looking for. Maybe I shouldn't say that on the podcast. New hairdresser in Limerick, so I want to know how.
Catwalk Hair Studios on Thomas Street.
Oh, yeah, I must go. No, it's not.
Actually,
the girl that does my hair is great, but I travel very far, and it would be nice to have someone a little bit closer to home. Anyway, we're going to start wrapping this up.
Okay.
Thank you. Patrick, I want to say on a personal level, thank you so much for telling me your story, and I'm sure everyone's going to appreciate it.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Like, it's out there now. Everyone knows it, and I hope you understand the reasons why I didn't want to exploit my own story and my experiences of mental health to get followers or to get likes and stuff like that. If what I've said today helps anyone or brings anyone to come to counselling, then I'm delighted I said it, but I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me, have sympathy for me. I have lived my life and
you are happy.
Exactly. And it's like I said, it's been a shit year, but every cloud has a silver lining. When my mother became ill, the silver lining was I became best friends with my father, and I had a wonderful, wonderful best friend for so many years. And when she became very seriously ill, the silver lining was that we got to know our dad so much better than we did before that. His personality really shone through, and we got to see the wonderful man that he was. And the silver lining that's come out of his death, I suppose, is that me and my brother and sister are so close. Like my brother's always been my brother, but we were never close. But now we're best friends.
That's nice.
And me and my brother and sister have this little tight knit unit, and we talk to each other every day. And that's the silver lining. So from every tragedy, there is some kind of hope that comes out of it. So that I also want to put that message out there. So there you go.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
It was lovely to chat to you this week, and I enjoyed that.
Okay.
If you're listening to us on iTunes, rate and review, and like our Instagram at Anna O'Connor 26 Love Life Podcast.
I am McLaughlin.
Yeah.
We're on Lemur now as well.
Lemur, yeah, that's good. I did. I think
Lemur is a social audio app. It's quite cool. The CEO of Lemur is a friend of mine, Shane Monaghan.
Yeah. Shout out to him. Thanks for having us on Lemur.
SoundCloud, YouTube.
Yeah. Give us a share, a like, and message us. Let us know your thoughts, or if you've any
when
questions.
This comes out, we might do a few polls on the whole nudes, dicks, and tits.
Lovely. Okay.
So
great.
So please
so
share.
have a lovely week and enjoy, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.